Hey, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Q, and we gotta have a very fair and honest conversation because I think we're in a little bit of trouble when it comes to the ALGS. Look, last night we saw the CEO ImperialHal tweet out that he is going to be taking a step back from Apex a little bit, not playing as much, and then going on to say, and I quote, "I think I'm at an all-time low in my mental with having to deal with the state of Apex. Plus, performance is not helping either." And we have to remember that this does come off the back of the same split that saw Rambo retire and then come back like Jordan wearing the 4-5. We saw Elysium retire out of South America, Graceful and Taishin retiring out of the EMEA region as well. I mean, combine that with the fact that we've been seeing scrims canceled on and off across multiple regions now. We've seen Challenger Circuit teams just this past week having to deal with slow-mo lobbies without getting restarts. And I mean, let's not forget about the no sound and no tracer issues that have been going on for a while now, right? You take all of that and couple it with the fact that the perceived face of the anti-cheat system is essentially mocking the cries for help from pros and creators alike via social media. And it's weird because you have this game that still some people believe has the potential to really have a stronghold on the competitive BR scene. And instead, due to a very deafening silence on the side of EA and Respawn, things are getting progressively louder from the side of the competitors and the rest of the community. I mean, we saw Kashera make a longer post that got a whole lot of support from the scene on Twitter. Feel free to pause and read if you would like some more context. They also talked about the state of the game on the After Hours podcast, and if I'm being honest, I really have to agree with this take from Snipedown.
Yeah, I mean, I feel both sides. I personally, Apex is the most passionate community that I've been involved in. It's a broad community, you know, it's global, and I think Apex is one of the best games that's ever been launched in terms of FPS. And you know, whether it's a BR, FPS, the team deathmatch control, there's great things that this game has that other games don't. Like, the replayability is there, and I think this is a game that could have a 10+ year life cycle if it's just taken care of properly. And I think, you know, at the beginning of this split, I think it was the most played that Apex had been in a very long time. Like, I think the numbers were through the roof, and I you know, it sucks to see that we all thought that we were getting this, you know, revamp. You know, a new character wasn't launched. We all thought it was going to be like they're going to focus on fixing all the issues in the game, and that this is like the Operation Hotfix that we were going to get this season. And I'll take the old audio at this point. Like, I wouldn't even complain about the old audio anymore. Like, just get me back to that and I'll be happy. I don't even care at this point. But like, I would love to see more lands, whether it's third-party tournaments popping up, and if we can do more as a community, then you know, I want it to stick around because I truly do love the Apex community, the fellow competitors that I've been involved with. You know, I came from Halo where it felt like everyone was against each other all the time. It doesn't feel like that. Like, I feel like I'm close with almost every single person I'm competing against, and we all want the same thing at the end of the day. We're all frustrated, but you know, I would prefer it to be here to stay instead of, you know, it dying out because it wasn't taken care of properly and everyone has to go split up their own way, because I think it is something special. The community is something special. The game is special. And I think we all truly just want the same thing. And if we can have some sort of form of open communication from the devs, you know, we are also here. Like, we're frustrated, but we're here to talk about stuff.
I mean, if y'all have been following the channel over here for a while now, y'all know I don't like to be that guy that just sits here and says, "Fix your game, devs," right? But we're really starting to reach this point where we do need a little bit more than just a little bit of transparency. I mean, we've got pros that are voicing that the only feedback that they have gotten is that the devs are still just simply looking into it, right? And for some people, still requesting that people send video in for evidence as if it's that hard of a problem to duplicate. I mean, it doesn't look good, right? And while the game is still relatively new as an esport, I mean, I do mean relatively a couple of years, right? I mean, it's no longer being played on LAN at the X Games, right? I mean, you don't want to miss the opportunity for this game to really have its chance to springboard to a whole nother level of relevancy, right? I mean, Valorant has franchised, CS2 is on the horizon. If Apex doesn't want to miss the boat, they've got to act swiftly. I mean, let's be honest, this year has been tough. I think people were really hoping that the new map was going to be comp viable to help bring some sort of diversity to ALGS. The team skins with revenue share they announced at Raleigh last year seem to have gotten fumbled. We went from 1 LAN in front of a crowd to 3, which is good, but unfortunately, they all seem to be at just one location. Although, I do think that there's some justified reasoning to that, but we're going to be talking about that more at the end of the video. But if there's one thing I definitely took away from this past weekend with the Apex Rising event, it's that the community has plenty of passion and plenty of talent to be able to support a tier 2 scene. I mean, we even saw the Celestial Cup, the Souls final a couple weekends ago were absolutely popping off. Arguably one of the best match point finals that we've seen in Apex in quite some bit. But there does seem to be this common thought, this common underlying theme that seems to be going around the community that Apex is in the worst state that it's ever been in. Heck, they even postponed NA and EMEA for a week, returning back before Easter weekend, right? And there hasn't been a command center during NA and EMEA broadcasts the last few weeks for what I can only assume is like an apparent server load issue, that there are too many observers in a game, which caused the crashes during the beginning parts of the season that gave us clips just like this.
You have to just laugh at that. Like, what else can you do? Here, I'm gonna get over this. Postcode in our group chat.
See Pandas rejoining.
Everyone lagged out.
And while I can understand players' calls for wanting to like postpone competition with all the issues, right? We do have to remember that ALGS has already pushed back Split 2 playoffs almost a month after a rumored double booking issue at the venue. And esports, well, really the gaming industry as a whole is already in a pretty volatile space. So I guess here's the real question, YouTube, right? If we knew that the fix was going to take, let's just say 6 weeks, which meant champions would then have to be postponed past summer, do you think it'd be worth it? Would LAN then attract more fans and be able to bring in more revenue and money even after an extended break, which meant that the game would be fixed? Let me know down in those comments below. Also do me a favor and take a quick peek and see if you're subscribed. Over here on the channel, we do almost daily videos for like esports news, updates, interviews with players and coaches, and more. We're actually creeping up on that 250 subscriber mark, which gets us a quarter of the way to that first 1K. So hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications on. That way, when we do videos like talking about the 4 regions, #1 teams from Split 1 that are going to be requiring a regional final in order to get to LAN, we can catch y'all right back here. All right. But the real tough part is with some stuff being like out of the control of EA and Respawn, like unforeseen bugs, there are some things though that they just don't seem to help themselves with, like the back-to-back-to-back events in London, right? I mean, this is the global series after all. And if this was done to like, let's say, save some money doing a package deal with Copperbox Arena, why was the ALGS the one that had to push back their event when there was a rumored double booking? I mean, I tried to play devil's advocate when the news initially broke, thinking that like maybe it was meant to help people getting their visas and stuff so that like there weren't any issues for competing. But then they announced it so close to LAN that there were still some teams that had visa issues. So maybe that's not the case. But regardless, just like the issues in the game right now, a little extra communication would really go a long way. I mean, even when we talk about the booking of the back-to-back-to-back events, even something as simple as, hey, we do still have our eyes on the Pacific for an event, but COVID was still pretty heavy and we needed to go ahead and schedule this season's events out. Something simple like that, right? Or even when it comes to the problems in the game right now, like hey, we're still working on the sound and tracer issue. We can confirm that we've duplicated the problem. We're just still working diligently on a fix. Something like that instead of radio silence, right? Simple communications would do so much, especially because we are coming down the home stretch for the ALGS season. I mean, we have South America and APAC South both have their regional finals this weekend, and the other 3 regions the following weekend, right? And then we have like a 2-month break until playoffs. So maybe, just maybe, there's enough time for us to get a fix or some sort of resolve to some of these issues before playoffs and Season 3 championship. Remember that at regional finals, though, those post-series placement points do still count towards LAN placement, right? But whoever wins with match point during the 2 weekends at regional finals automatically locks their place in for London. It does look like TSM is going to have to rely on that in North America in order to get to London for Split 2. But I'd actually agree with some sort of a hot take that TSM not making it to LAN would actually be good for ALGS because it would force the broadcast to build some more storylines other than the usual ones like the TSM versus NRG storyline, right? Which honestly, I think right now is quite needed, especially with some of the rumors coming out of the TSM camp. But what do you think, YouTube? Can ALGS still have a successful playoff in viewership without TSM, or would viewership suffer too much? I mean, surely Hal would be doing some sort of a watch party, right? I don't know. You guys let me know down in those comments below. And if you haven't tapped in down those comments yet, actually just leave me something down there saying what's up, because those comments, as well as those likes that y'all about to light up down there in that bottom right-hand corner, those are the things that help me get my content in front of more people. And don't forget to make sure y'all are subscribed so we can catch y'all right back here for more weekly esports content, all right? But until we do catch y'all back over here on the channel or wherever we cross paths next, don't forget, man, with everything crazy going on in the world today, be true, be you, be sincere, game hard and love hard, all right, y'all? It's your boy Q, signing out.
If you ain't show something, you just don't wanna be. You wanna be me, but you will never be as fresh as see you.